Did you watch Prey?
I've seen a lot about it, but I have not watched it. Is it worth a watch?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And here's a controversial take from me. I don't like the Predator movies, and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I think Predator is a bitch ass killer alien. That's what I think. I think he's a puss. I think he takes the easy way out in all of the movies. He goes camouflage and you can't see him. Ooh, I mean, come on, ridiculous. But if you put him back in the 1700s, that's a little bit different. Makes the story a little bit more interesting. So what this movie essentially is, it's supposed to be the first time Predator is on Earth. It takes place in like 1715 or something in the Great
Okay.
Plains. It's pretty good. It's fun. It's fun. My wife was like, "No, I don't like it better than Predator 1 or 2, but I like it." I'm like, I kind of like it better than both because, to be honest with you, I don't know that I finished both of those movies. I'll be honest.
Okay.
If there was one that I finished more so than the other, it's probably Predator 2, and the fact that it had Danny Glover in it. Like, I wasn't a big Schwarzenegger. Well, first of all, it was way before I was a little kid when it came out. But either way, it's fun. Watch it. It's pretty good.
What year did the first Predator come out?
80. All right, so I'm gonna look it up for you, but I'm gonna guess 84, 87. Wow.
How
Okay.
recently did you watch it?
Which one?
The first one. How
I haven't.
recently?
I
Oh,
haven't.
you have. Oh, okay.
I have not watched it since I was a child.
Okay.
I don't care. Like, as soon as even as a kid, like, I just feel it's so unimaginative for the guy to just be, you can't see him. Well, fuck
Yeah.
me. How the fuck? Like, what the fuck is the point? Like, that's not badass to me. That's a cheat code. Yeah. I
Did you
didn't
ever
care.
see the Alien versus Predator movie? Was there just
Never,
one of those made?
never,
Just one? No.
never would have. No, no, never seen it. Never thought about seeing it. And then what is there, like 6 of those movies? There's got to be at
Uh,
least 2.
there's several, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we're
Uh,
getting to a point movie wise where like I don't want to say creativity has gone away, but like just making new stuff is just getting harder and harder to do. So now we're going back and either remaking old movies or we're doing prequels or sequels to other movies or something like that. Like I don't know. Like didn't they just make like a Scream 14?
14.
I don't know. I
I think
just
it was
made that.
Scream
I
4.
made that. I made that number up, but still.
Yeah, but at least it was with the original people. It wasn't like it was like a remake. Like, it was still with the original
True.
cast. It's just another extension of the. I didn't see it, but and it's actually, I really enjoy the first Scream. The second one, I didn't really dig.
Yeah.
I know I've seen the third one, but I don't even remember it. I have not seen the fourth one. Yeah, man. This is how I feel. They're remaking White Men Can't Jump, and it is just a kick to the dick for
Did
me.
I know? Did I know this?
Yeah, Jack Harlow is playing the Woody Harrelson part. I know we talked about it when
I don't.
the
I don't
news
remember
first
that we
broke.
did.
Either way,
So
that's terrible. Here's the movie that if they remake it, I'm done. I'm officially done. You'll never get me to the theater again. You'll never, like, I'm just gonna be done with Hollywood. If they remake Back to the Future, I'm done.
I mean, I haven't heard of anything like that.
No, no, you better not. Dude, you would have just crushed my soul. Yeah, you don't do that. It's one of the ones you don't touch. It's like if you're a band, you don't cover Queen or you don't cover Led Zeppelin. You don't cover, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Like,
Did you see
so
the movie? Did you see the movie Nobody? Isn't it called Nobody?
I want to say that I did. Remind me what that is.
With why can't I think of his name right now? Better Call Saul.
No,
What's
I
his
did not
name?
see that.
What's his name?
White guy Jack. He's got like a really white basic guy name, right? Doesn't he?
I don't remember. What
The
is his
dude.
name?
I don't know. It's anyway, go on. You saw it? Is it good?
I did, but I mean, I seen it in theaters like months and months ago. But
You saw it in
yeah, dude, names are like just passing away from me right now. In Back to the Future, what's the
Bob
what's Doc's real
Odenkirk.
name? Bob Odenkirk.
Is
What's
there a
Doc's
more
real name?
white? Is there a whiter name than that? I told you it was a white. Go on. What now?
What's Doc's real name in real life from Back to the Future?
Christopher Lloyd.
Cool, that's it. Okay, so he's in Nobody, and he's basically only in it for a few minutes, and he's just got a shotgun and he's just blowing the crap out of people. It was interesting. That's what it made me think of Nobody, because you were talking about Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah, I don't. Isn't he a badass in that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like making Queen Latifah a badass in that TV show. I don't care. I'm not gonna watch that. Last night I did watch, and it's not a new movie, but it's one that escaped me. And 1517 to Paris. Have you ever seen that?
No.
So it was directed by Clint Eastwood. It is essentially based on a true story about three Americans who are on a train to Paris, and there's like a terrorist guy on the train who tries to just starts blowing people away, and they basically attack the guy and subdue him, and in the process one of the guy's fingers gets cut off, another guy has to save another guy's life. And so, kind of like, again, it's based on a true story, but the three stars of the movie are the actual three guys that it happened to.
Oh, that's cool.
The acting's really bad, but I don't say that to be a jerk, but I find it endearing. The fact that they use these regular Joes to tell their own story. Now, while the acting is bad and the dialogue's kind of shitty, it made it kind of endearing to me to see these actual guys reliving their experience and telling the story, perhaps loosely based on how they would have told it, right? Let me tell you my biggest problem with this fucking movie, okay? And I enjoyed it, and I think you should see it. It's good.
Okay.
The opening scene of the movie, it's the three guys grown up, like in Europe. They're on this European trip. That's how this all happens. They're in a car cruising. And so it's two white guys and a black guy. The black dude is narrating the scene. The black dude goes, I know what y'all are thinking. How'd this brother, I don't remember exactly how it goes. But he's like, how'd this brother get in a car with two crackers like this? And I just like, dude, this is the opening scene. We're 15 seconds into the movie. I look at my wife, I go, that is the worst opening line to a movie I have ever seen. She goes, that was so cringe. Are we going to turn this off? I go, no, I have to keep watching. But I dreamt about it last night, about how much I hated that line and how, but here's the thing. Once you start watching the movie, it goes back to when they're kids and how they all become friends, right? And now they're all grown up, and now they're kind of separated a little bit because they're trying to achieve different things, but they come back together for this European trip. It's like, did we need that shitty opening line for us to figure out that they forged a bond when they were young kids? We didn't need it. I was like, the writer of this movie, like the writer of the screenplay sucks. Like that is terrible, terrible, terrible storytelling. But the worst part is like I said, the black guy is the one narrating that specific scene. He's not even the main character of the movie, which makes it even less.
Right.
It makes sense even less.
Right. Huh.
But again, go watch it. It's pretty cool. Like
how recent was this movie put out?
2018, because the attack that, like, they put it out like 6 months after the attack or something. Like they made it quick.
How's that even possible?
I don't know. So I Googled it. Hold on. Biographical drama film produced and directed by Clint Eastwood, written by Dorothy Blyskol, which is why old white lady out of touch doesn't know that opening line's terrible. Yeah, I found it last night as we were watching it, like how soon they made it fair. 6 months might be a stretch, but they made it fairly soon after the attack. But,
okay.
But yeah, 15, 17. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Go check it out.
And for him to make a movie that soon after something like that happens, and the three people who are involved in it are fine with doing it, like that's pretty crazy, right? Like that soon after, I guess they didn't have any like lasting trauma.
I mean, if someone comes calling and says, hey, we want to make a movie about you, and oh, by the way, Clint Eastwood is going to direct it, you probably go, okay. Dirty Harry wants to direct it. Oh, okay. That's probably okay. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
So what about I don't know. Have you seen Nope yet? I haven't, but I'm curious if you have.
What's it called?
Nope, the Jordan Peele's new movie.
Not gonna watch it.
Really?
Not gonna watch it.
Have you seen anything that Jordan Peele has done?
Get Out, and I fucking hated it. It's one of my least favorite movies of all time. I'm not gonna get into it because we'll get canceled. No, I'm not gonna see that.
Okay.
If I'm at your house for another birthday party and it's on, I'll peek around the corner and check out a few scenes. But no, I have no desire. Did you like the movie Get Out?
It was okay.
Because
Are
I'll
you
be
are you
honest.
are you not a Jordan Peele fan,
No.
or is just the movie
No,
in
no,
general?
no. Not a fan.
Okay.
No. I think he's well, no, I can't do it.
You got to give me something here. Why?
I just think he's a fucking poser. I think he's full of fucking shit. I think those movies are for fucking I think they are directed to a specific audience with crossover appeal in mind so that he can make a profit. I don't think that they are really about what he says they are about. I don't believe it. I just don't. We're talking about the same guy who ripped off Chappelle's Show, right? That's who we're talking about.
Are you talking about Key and Peele?
Yeah, Key and Peele is a direct ripoff of the Chappelle Show.
You think so?
100%.
I would have to go back and watch.
Go back.
to believe that. Do you know who he's married to?
Who?
Chelsea Peretti.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so weird.
I mean, there's an awful lot of no. See, you're gonna get it out of me eventually. I'm not gonna do it. Yes, he is. You're right. He is. No, I don't like. I don't know anyone that likes the movie Get Out.
Okay.
Like anyone close to me. Like, I know some people like that I've worked with on several occasions or random occasions that, and I remember specifically, I was in another city when it came up. Oh yeah, I loved it. It told it's such an eye-opening, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Eye-opening to what? Box office dollars? Shut up. Get out of here. What's the other guy's name? Keegan Key? Is his name Keegan?
Keegan Michael Key, yeah.
That is an unfortunate name. But I like him. I don't like him on Key and Peele, but he's been in some funny shit.
Yeah.
Can I tell you one of my favorite characters of his? And then we have to move on from movies. Not before we talk about the main movie that we've both watched, that I know we both watched. Documentary anyway, but have you seen the movie Why Him?
Mm-mm.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Fuck. God damn it. So it's got the dude from Breaking Bad. The dad from Breaking Bad plays the dad. In this movie, he's got a daughter, lives out in LA, starts dating a guy without telling him.
Oh, wait.
He's got James Franco.
Yes, I have seen that. I lied. Yeah, I have seen that.
So Keegan Michael Key is his like personal assistant or whatever, the one that attacks him randomly, and they do like the scene where he's trying to teach the dude how to use the bidet, and like he's got his like face right by his fucking dick, and it's like, dude, how many times do you think they had to stop filming that to just laugh and be like, all right, we're gonna try it again? But then someone like made a fart noise as he went down, like, we gotta do it again, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah,
right.
And he also was in a show, Keegan Michael Key, that was really good, and I think it ended after 2 seasons, but it was called Friends from College or something like that.
Dude, I was just gonna bring that up. Yeah, that was a pretty good show. It had Fred Savage and
it's a good show. It was really good. It was really watchable.
The chick from How I Met Your Mother, Colby something or another.
I don't know.
But anyways, yeah, that was a good show though.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So
one last show that I'm curious if you've seen. I know it's slapsticky, but do you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I've tried and I can't.
You don't like it?
I'm not an Andy Samberg fan.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of anyone in that show.
Not even Terry Crews?
Definitely not Terry Crews, no.
Dude.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I've tried.
That's become my show that I watch in the morning when I'm on the treadmill.
I'm sure that really motivates you to get it in, as they
I don't need no motivation. I need just my mind off of boredom from walking.
The fact that you're running.
Yeah.
Yeah, running sucks.
Running does suck, especially on a treadmill.
Why don't you watch fights?
You're running at nothing. Huh? Why don't I watch fights or something?
Yeah. That's what I do.
All right, Rogan.
It's really easy to take your mind off everything when you're watching people beat the fuck out of each other.
I guess you got a point.
I'm just saying, try it next time. All right. So did you see the Woodstock 99 documentary that just came out on Netflix? It's called Trainwreck, Woodstock 99 or whatever.
Yes.
All right. Before I go on a complete tangent, tell me what your thoughts are. Well, let me ask you this before you tell me. What did you know of Woodstock 99 before this? Had you heard of anything about it? I know I've mentioned it a few times on our show, but So like,
I
tell me,
haven't really seen anything about it. I've just
you've
heard.
never YouTubed a live performance from that festival?
I mean, I've done that, but I haven't like
Okay.
in depth as far as what all actually happened. The main things that I heard was the bad things about, like, everybody saying that Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit and Red Hot Chili Peppers were the culprits in all this, and
Stop.
they're the reason
Stop.
why this all happened.
Hold on. Who did you hear from before this documentary that Red Hot Chili Peppers were the culprits, or were the problem, or the reason to
I
blame,
don't
or
I couldn't give you a source. I just know
really?
that yeah. I
Because I don't
mean,
remember that. I always remember it being Korn and Limp Bizkit.
okay, which I disagree with on both of those counts.
I disagree. Here's the thing about, well,
Based
fuck.
off of this documentary. Now, this is another situation where a documentary can make things look how they want them to look.
Totally. Okay, so you knew something about it. Go on.
Yeah.
What else did you feel? What did it bring out of you?
What do you mean?
Like, what were your feelings? Like, based on what you were seeing about how the festival was run, the way the bands reacted to it. I mean, they had some of the artists come back, like Jonathan Davis and Gavin Rossdale, and you know, it was, for me anyway, because I lived through it. I wasn't there, but little secret about me, I ordered it on pay-per-view.
Did you?
I really wanted to see it, man, because look, 1999, I had not experienced live shows that much to that extent. Certainly not I had never been to a festival in 1999. Yeah, it was just like a huge deal. And I remember when Woodstock 94 happened, thinking like, God, that would be so cool to be there. That would be so cool to, like, shows of that level were beyond my wildest imagination at that point in my life,
Yeah.
So, hearing from those artists now, however, was with 22 years later, whatever we are, it was very interesting to me because, I remember specifically saying on this show, all of the focus for so many years after it happened was on Limp Bizkit and on Fred Durst and on all of the carnage, because it was carnage. I mean, it's safe to say it was a terrible, terrible thing that happened. But I said the one thing that a lot of people overlooked still were some of the performances that were just overshadowed by all of the bullshit, like Bush, like The Offspring, like fucking DMX, Rusted Roots, Collective Soul, Live. Like, all of these bands played this festival, but no one fucking knows it because no one talked about it. Right.
Right.
That's one of the things that I said way back when on this show. But it was really cool to hear from, especially Gavin Rossdale, because, a lot of people don't know this, but Bush saved the night.
Yeah, for sure.
Korn played.
Yeah.
Yep. And when I say save the night, like, they kind of brought the crowd down to a reasonable level of, like, festival expectation.
But that was that necessarily on Bush that they did that, or was
they
that
just did it because
the fact that that's where they were put put in the lineup?
Coincidence. I mean, it just happened.
Yeah. Right.
But I think, like, look, Gavin said in the interview on the documentary, he was like, yeah, we felt like we were in a position to really, like, kind of reel this back in. Again, I'm paraphrasing. But I think they would have done that regardless of where you put them in the lineup, because that's just the kind of band they were. They weren't necessarily an aggressive type band. He was at the time like a fucking heartthrob. Like, you weren't going to get carnage and destruction from Bush.
Right.
So it was the healthiest thing you could have done to end that wild first night when Korn, like, and I'll be honest with you, everything that Jonathan Davis said in that documentary about, like, there's no greater drug than going on a stage and seeing people react the way that they reacted, like you have control over them. Everything he said is true. And take it from someone whose biggest crowd is nowhere near the size of that crowd. But when you can get half of a crowd of significant size to join along, it's fucking insane. So, like, hearing Jonathan Davis's take on it, and that was the cool part for me. Let me stop. So what else did you take from it, or what else did you get from it? What did you learn from it, if anything, that you didn't know before?
So this is another thing as far as like a documentary can show a thing, like make you see things in a certain way because that's how the documentary wants you to see things. It just didn't feel like there was much. I mean, I know there was a lot more behind the scenes stuff that they're not showing, but it didn't seem like there was a whole lot done to make all this happen. You like the people who were putting this whole thing together. It just seemed like they put people in places to I don't know how to explain it.
To make
Like
money.
well, yeah, I mean, it was all about profit, but not much was done at the festival. As far as like when they talk about when you get to day 2 and day 3, where um, none of the porta potties have been cleaned. People are freaking swimming in crap water and all this stuff. They can't get water even at concession stands and stuff like that. And like they relied on subcontracted people
Right.
that were coming in to do the vending and all that kind of
And they
stuff.
didn't do it.
And they didn't do it, and they didn't do anything about it. They just relied on that to happen, and it didn't happen.
Right.
And on top of the fact of just not cleaning up the place. You're at a 3-day festival, and after the first day, everything is just left all over the ground, and nobody did anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, they turned a blind eye to it, but again, they subcontracted everything so they could cut corners, cut the
Yeah.
budget down to where they could make a large profit.
Right.
And at the time, I guess everyone was wrapped up in the idea like we're going to have another Woodstock, that they didn't seem to think about that.
Right.
But they also stated like we didn't make money on Woodstock 94. So we have to do things differently this time out to make money.
Right. You know what the other weird thing was is that mayor. Like how much money was slid into his pocket
Oh,
because he was just like, it didn't matter what happened. He was just in agreement with everything. Just like everything's fine. Everything's great.
but even if he's not, what happens? He doesn't have the power to shut down the festival. He's already approved it.
I mean, I feel like he could if he wanted to, if he wanted
No.
to get, you don't think so?
No, they signed a contract, dude. Like I seriously doubt with the snap of fingers he could have done anything. But I'm glad he brought him up. The biggest piece of shit in that documentary and the biggest piece of shit of Woodstock 99 is that dude, John Schur, the promoter.
Yeah.
What a fucking piece of garbage that guy is.
Yep.
For him to 22 years later have no empathy, no sympathy, no just real understanding of what actually happened, to still make excuses and be completely oblivious. And in the part where I was like, all right, I'm done with this fucking guy, is when they talked about, the idea that it was like this free flowing, like girls gone wild, girls had their tops off and girls were getting groped. And he goes, well, he basically says, well, if they took their tops off, they were asking for it, type thing.
Well, and then there was another guy, and I can't remember what his name was, but the other guy that was talking about when he when they'd commandeered a vehicle and they brought that into the crowd, and then when that guy got into that vehicle, he seen the girl who her top was off and her pants were down, and there was a guy pulling his pants back up, basically saying that this girl just got raped.
Right.
And then not too long after that, this Schur guy you're talking about, he didn't specifically say that instance, but he basically said, I understand. I heard later on that kind of stuff happened, but when there's that many people at a festival, there's not much you can really do about it.
Yeah, there is.
Dude, really?
Yeah, there is. Like that guy's a piece of shit.
Absolutely.
What a piece of fucking shit. Like it's one thing to in the moment be like, I don't understand what you guys are talking about. It feels like it's going well.
Yeah.
But he knows what people have been saying for 20 plus years. So like 20 plus years later, you're still acting like this. Like what a fucking pile of fucking shit.
Right.
And that Michael Lang dude who died, a couple months after they filmed the documentary, and he was the original creator of Woodstock. Like he played the same sort of like non-empathetic, non-sympathetic fucking douchebag who was like, well, it was a success. Like for you, maybe.
Right.
But no one else. Like, and the only people who are living through this at the time are the people that are there who paid money to be there, overpaid to be there, and weren't treated well. Oh, that's the other thing this Schur guy said, which fucking pissed me off. So they were talking about how like everything was so expensive and nothing was cleaned up and the trash wasn't picked up. It's like, what did they think? They were going to stay at a Ritz-Carlton or something? I'm like, no, douchebag. They thought they were going to be taken care of enough to have water and not walk through trash. And, what a fucking piece of shit.
I have another question too. So at one point, like one of the audience members had stated that they didn't let him bring anything in. It's like when it came to like the water and stuff like that. Where did all these tents and stuff come from? Were people renting tents to stay in?
No, you can bring your tent.
You can bring a tent, but you can't bring anything else?
To my knowledge, no.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know. I sure do hope they let you bring your own tent and not rent a tent.
Right.
That's fucking atrocious.
Yeah. You know what the grossest thing about the entire documentary was to me? Like literally the grossest thing was that the girl who said she got trench mouth.
Oh yeah.
That is I almost vomited in my mouth whenever she said that. She's talking about like having sores all over her mouth and her tongue and everything else because people were basically drinking shit water.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's nuts. That's why you be like me and just drink beer the entire weekend.
But then again, I understand you bought a ticket to go to this festival, but everybody had a choice. They could have left whenever they wanted. So that's a big part. That's a big part of this. I'm not saying they were treated right, but they could have left whenever they wanted to.
Yeah, it's a voluntary act.
It just became this mob mentality to just fuck everything up at a certain point because everybody was getting mad. And I did kind of like the fact that they had these people who worked for MTV who were on there explaining their side of the story too, like talking about how they were getting batteries thrown at them and stuff that while they're trying to film. And
yeah, I remember watching that live. I had two TVs going. I had MTV on, and then I had the pay-per-view on just to watch the performances. And then the MTV would be the in-between stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think people were mad and they started fucking shit up. But I mean, yeah. I mean, they pretty much made that clear in that documentary. And I think so what I was going to say was the people who knew what was going on were the people who paid to be there, and then the production crew and the security. So I'm glad we got to hear from those folks. The one interesting guy out of all the people they talked to was that production guy who basically were like, no, that's a terrible idea. No, that's a terrible idea. No, that's a terrible idea. And the promoters being like, shut the fuck up. This is what we're paying you for.
Oh yeah. I told him to get off of this channel.
Yeah. Very interesting. But I almost felt like he was kind of putting it on for the documentary.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
While I want to believe his heart was truly in the right place, I don't know. But let me tell you who low-key, the biggest pieces of shit that I didn't know about. And you brought them up earlier. The biggest pieces of shit during this whole festival, low-key, because I didn't know about it until I saw this documentary. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. I didn't know about it. I didn't know
about the song that they played when they came back out.
Yeah. I didn't know that the mayor came up to Anthony Kiedis and was like, hey, there's a big fire out there. Can you maybe say something? No, they're not going to listen to me. But they made the conscious choice to go back out there and play that song.
Right.
Why don't you just play Soul to Squeeze, you cunt? Why are you playing a song about fire and getting people more riled up and starting more fires?
Right.
What is that about? I understand being a rock star. You're in the moment. This is fucking great. Like, dude, I've been there. I have been there.
Mm-hmm.
I really have. I have said some gross shit on stage because I was so in the moment. Told a security guard to fuck off. I've flung my mic at a security guy. I've fucking flung my mic at people in the crowd. I've done it. I've been caught up in the moment. But like, if I'm looking into a sea of fires, and there's no way that they're playing on Sunday, they're the headliner, that they have not heard about anything.
Right.
I find that so hard to believe.
Well, that's
it's
my
like
thing.
The same thing with the promoters being like, we haven't heard anything. Like the band's new. Like you have to by Sunday, we'll go, okay.
Exactly. That was my thing too, is by Sunday, now I know the fires and stuff like that didn't start until the very end of the night, which was the most idiotic move.
Such a dumb
anybody
idea.
Could, like, what the last 2 days have looked like. And now you want to give people fire? Why? That makes no sense whatsoever. But yeah, by the third day, the bands have to know what's going on as well.
You would think. Wasn't Jewel, because they interviewed Jewel, wasn't she the third day?
Yeah, and but I think from the way the documentary put it, I think she's the only one that actually bailed. Like they bailed
but she said she was so surprised when she got out there, and I'm like, well, hasn't anyone told you what's been going on?
Right.
Like you didn't hear? Like, I don't know. Like it's very weird. It's very weird. Yeah, but low key, fuck the Chili Peppers. That was fucking you know what? I don't know if I got the pay-per-view on Sunday, and I actually don't think I did. I'm trying to think if there was anyone on Sunday that ever. But yeah, why would I don't know. But that John Schur guy, I tweeted about it as soon as that I got done with episode 2. I was like, whoa. If anyone's watching this, and if anyone's wondering, if you've ever wondered, like just picture the shittiest fucking piece of human garbage promoter you've seen in a movie about music, fictional. This guy is that guy, but 10 times worse. And oh, by the way, he's a real person. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Just money hungry, money grubbing fucking scumbag. Oh.
Now they stopped Limp Bizkit's set early, right? Because didn't they tell them they were going to have to get off stage, like they couldn't keep on going. And then when Fred Durst got to the back, they asked him, what he thought of it. He goes, "None of this is my fault." And I kind of agree with him, because
I agree.
It was a Limp Bizkit show.
I agree.
But I don't know. I guess he could have tried to help a little bit, because he knew.
Should you have gone out and crowd surfed on plywood? Probably not. But right. Look, if he's playing an arena show that's a Limp Bizkit show, and he sees that, he's probably going to go do it. He's not going to stop and go, "Guys, what are you doing?"
Right. So I don't know if you had planned on doing this or not, but can you make the comparison here to Astroworld?
Oh, fuck me. Why did I know you were going to? Okay. How would you like me to do this? Because I was thinking about Astroworld as I'm watching this. And I think this is why I brought up Woodstock 99. I think it was when we were talking about Astroworld. Well, let me ask you this. If you had to make a comparison, because I want to gather my thoughts, what would you do? What would you say?
The comparison I'm making is you have people on stage performing that know what's happening in the crowd, and they're not doing anything to calm the crowd down to potentially.
Stop. Right there.
Okay.
Who are you referring to?
Well, it's Travis Scott. That was the main thing, right? Or are you talking about in
Woodstock?
It's in Woodstock.
Yeah. Who are you referring to?
Let's say Fred Durst. That's fine.
So he knew that girls were getting raped. He knew that.
Well, probably didn't know it was that dark.
He didn't.
Yeah.
So he sees some people crowd surfing on plywood. Do you think he's stopping in the moment to think, like, where did that plywood come from? Did they tear something down, or were there? He's not making that judgment or that snap assessment while he's on stage.
Right.
Am I saying it's right? No, but okay, go on. So you're saying Fred Durst specifically, or anybody else?
Anybody else? Anybody who played knowing how things were actually going out in the crowd, and knowing that there's potential for people to be getting hurt and all that kind of stuff too. But do
you think Fred thought that anyone was getting hurt at that show? Because from our vantage point, because there were many shots from the stage out into the crowd, from his vantage point, it looks like everyone's having a pretty goddamn good time, right?
Yeah, but as you said, like I know this was on the second day, but by the third day, you know what's happening out there, and you know what the conditions are like and how people are acting and stuff like that. Are you telling me that by the time that Fred Durst got on, which was in the evening of Saturday, that he wasn't told anything? Like he wasn't told that, hey, this crowd is a little too rowdy, we may want to calm it down a little bit?
But if you're a new metal band or a hard rock band in 1999 and someone tells you a crowd's too rowdy, what is your response going to be?
Make them rowdier.
Give them a good time.
Yeah.
Give them a good time.
Yeah.
There's no toning down a Limp Bizkit performance. There's no toning down a Rage Against the Machine performance. There's no toning down a Korn performance.
So I wonder why the documentary, you were naming off all these bands that played also that they didn't even talk about in the documentary.
There are so many that people don't know.
So I wonder why. Why do they just pick certain bands because that's where the majority of the chaos was happening, was during these bands? Or why did they not even talk about a lot of the other bands?
Well, I think what they did is they talked about the biggest bands of the time, who all things considered made the biggest waves at the festival. Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, Korn, Bush, okay, Rage Against the Machine, the Chili Peppers, Metallica, you know, all of these bands played, and all those bands were huge.
Which there wasn't really anything about Metallica either.
No, they had Kirk
The
Hammett in
documentary.
there, but they played on, I want to say after Limp Bizkit.
Okay.
On the East stage, this is actually kind of fun to do. So, oh no, that's Sunday. Sorry. Hold on. July 24th, Saturday, the East stage, the Tragically Hip, Counting Crows, Alanis Morissette, Metallica. Oh, Metallica was a headliner. Okay. Wait. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I'm reading this wrong. The Tragically Hip, Kid Rock. So Kid Rock played second. Can you imagine that on Saturday?
Crazy.
Tragically Hip, Kid Rock, Wyclef Jean, Counting Crows, Dave Matthews Band, Alanis Morissette, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, Metallica was Saturday on the East stage, which was the big stage, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the West stage, Everclear into Ice Cube.
I would like to see the money that it costs just to have all those bands that they had.
Oh, well, I mean, and that's the thing too about that John Scher guy. It's like, I didn't realize that Fred Durst was such a jerk. Bitch, you booked him. Fuck you. Don't fucking play that shit now, 20 years later. It's such bullshit, dude. Yeah. Like that bothers me. Friday, the East stage, which was the main stage. James Brown, G Love and Special Sauce, Jamiroquai, Live, Sheryl Crow, DMX, The Offspring, Korn, Bush.
That was another thing I didn't understand. The whole James Brown thing. Did you see that part where they were talking about how he?
Yeah, I don't know why that was relevant to anything.
It was
just to make that John Scher guy look like a fucking badass. Like what?
But
like
it didn't.
You're a master promoter. Like fuck you.
Yeah, it didn't make that happen because James Brown was getting ready to go on, but he wanted to be paid before he went on. They were telling him no, that wasn't going to happen. And then like all that happened was Scher said, "Give me just a minute." And then the next thing you know, James Brown's on stage. Like what the hell just happened?
What a fucking piece of shit that guy is.
It makes no sense.
Like I seriously, like I've encountered guys like that for so many years, and it just they are the worst. There's a guy. Oh fuck. Never mind. Let me go back to this lineup here. So the other stage on Friday.
I know Willie Nelson opened, didn't he?
No, I already said that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that was on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
about. So Sunday, the main stage was Willie Nelson, the Brian Setzer Orchestra, Everlast, Elvis Costello for some reason, Jewel, Creed, and the Chili Peppers. And then the West stage the West stage was badass, dude. Mike Ness, Our Lady Peace, Rusted Root, Seven Dust, Collective Soul, Godsmack, and Megadeth. Dude, come on. And then the other stage on Friday was Lit, into Buckcherry, into The Roots, into Insane Clown Posse, into George Clinton. Dude, that's a festival.
Hang on a second. Buckcherry was a band in 99?
Oh, yeah, dude. They've been around forever.
When did Crazy Bitch come out?
I don't know. I'm going to go take a piss while you think about it. Google it while I take a piss.
All right.
So you want to know something crazy? So the emerging artist stage on Thursday, which is considered the pre-show, not even going to name them because I've never heard of them. Friday, well, let's see who we got here. Moby. It's the only one that Ben Lee. Ben Lee sounds familiar. Who's Ben Lee? Oh yeah, Ben Lee's the dude, that Australian dude that fucking hit. He's got like a one-hit wonder. Saturday, Two Skinny J's and Fatboy Slim. Sunday.
So Fatboy Slim did, because he was actually a good part of the documentary.
So I guess that's the rave tent.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. But Sunday, Muse was on it, and so was Reveille. Whoa! But I
didn't know this, and I don't know why it surprised me. But the fact that Fatboy Slim, that his name is Norman, that's just like matches Fatboy Slim. I don't know why. it just like, of course, his name would be Norman.
He's a British dude named Norman. Of course you are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's that. I enjoyed the documentary. I enjoy shit like that, though. I love music documentaries.
Is this the only one about Woodstock 99? It's not, right? There's several out there.
I mean, I know there's a YouTube one that was made that's really good. I think you should go check out. I don't know that there's been one of this caliber, that's been released on such like a major streaming platform or released by a major network or anything like that. So I'll tell you this. That John Schur guy, he just, man. So I once had to deal with a guy who probably still manages a band that I've talked about on the show. Not going to say who, because it's going to be a dead giveaway. But he, at the time, you remember the band Foxy Shazam?
I do.
Yeah. So at the time, he was trying to be affiliated with them somehow, whether he was trying to manage them or was trying to take credit for something about them being on the radio. I don't remember what it was. They were playing off Broadway, and there was supposed to be some like Point Fest pre-show the day before Point Fest that they were trying to get them on it. Now, at the time, my band was being told that we were also trying to be booked for that. Now, I've had run-ins with this guy before, and I see him at the Foxy Shazam show, okay, at Off Broadway, which is on like, I want to say it's like 2 weeks before, it was close to Point Fest, whenever it was. Okay. I want to say, if I'm remember, this is all a blur that I'm trying to kind of bring back together. But so I see him, and he's talking to people that I know that I'm there also kind of like socializing with. And Foxy Shazam they just got done. And I just kind of I'm in a conversation with people, and kind of just like, he was like looking at me, and I just go, oh, man, Fox, that was cool, right? He goes, yeah. I'm gonna get him on that Point Fest pre-show. I'm like, oh, really? I think I'm gonna be playing that. He goes, no. And he just walks away. Swear to God. Dude. And now you got to think, this is however many years ago. I wanted to murder this guy. I was like, how could you be so rude to another human being? Forget business. Put all the bullshit, like industry bullshit aside. Like, how could you just be like, you're staring at me, waiting for me to acknowledge the fact that you're staring at me, to acknowledge that we just experienced something together. I acknowledge you. I try to bring you in, and you're a total fucking piece of shit. Like, oh.
I wonder if
what an asshole.
Did you end up on it?
No.
I wonder if he knew something that you didn't know.
Probably. But still. fuck him. Why does that matter to me?
No, he was just trying to tell you, no, that's not happening.
No, it didn't.
I know.
But they weren't on it either.
Okay. I gotcha.
It would have been really cool. It was back when they did the pre-show at the casino, they had like a piano bar there that turned into just I don't know if they had dueling pianos at this point, but big bar, and the bands would play on the balcony. So everyone down below dancing would be looking up at the band. I don't know. It just would have been fun to do, but no, we didn't end up doing it. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, Foxy Shazam did not either. But fuck that guy. There's so many of those guys, dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
So many. And it's just,
and I mean, is it like, I guess it's just a major ego, but it's also like, I'm putting in the work and my band is better than yours kind of thing.
He's just a fucking sniveling little weasel. Like, if you saw this guy and I went, hey, dude, that's the manager of such and such, you'd be like, what? He looks like he should be fucking shoveling gravel. Yeah.
Is he still managing bands in St. Louis now?
Well, I never said this was a St. Louis band. Slow down. Stop trying to get me in trouble. I never said that. I never said that. He might be. He probably is. He probably is. Yeah. Probably is. But, God, he bothered me. Still bothers me. What can you do? Yeah, the Chili Peppers play a different song. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Do you think it was just coincidence that they had that song in their back pocket, like to play in all the time?
I know that was a cover that they did.
Okay.
But you heard Anthony Kiedis go like, Chad, you want to do it? Let's do it. Ding, ding, ding. Let me stand until you fire. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, bro? Like, that was a calculated, like, we're going to go up there and we're going to show them. Like, don't tell me I need to control the crowd. You control the crowd. I don't know. It just felt very, I don't know, man. Like, so much about that festival and the people involved. And, well, to be honest with you, the people that talked during that documentary was so vindictive and, like, it was just like, ugh.
Why did they choose the people, not the people that were involved in the backstage stuff, but the people that they chose to talk, like just the people that were there? Why did they choose those people?
What do you mean?
You don't talk like there were two guys that were friends that went to the show together.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
And then the girl that I said got trench mouth. And then the other girl that had braces or whatever when she was real young. Like, why did they pick those four people to be the people that represent people who were there at the show?
I have no idea.
I don't understand.
Four of the dumbest people to ever walk the face of the earth. Let's be honest. Dude. That was embarrassing. Well, at least the one girl with braces, she was like, would you do it all over again? She's like, yep, I would totally do it again. So good for her. At least she's like standing by, the conviction she had at the time. Like, well, she didn't leave. She's like, fuck it, I'm staying. I'm partying. She was like 15 when she went.
Right.
Which also,
that was another
about drinking beer. Did you catch that?
I don't know.
Yeah, she talks in the documentary about like, yeah, they got us beers and we were drinking. I'm like, who? Like, that's not cool. But
I don't know.
Have you ever seen Heavy Metal Parking Lot?
No.
All right, you have homework.
Okay.
So before our next show, you need to watch the documentary called Heavy Metal Parking Lot. It's only like 38 minutes long. It's not going to take up much of your time. Do you want me to tell you what it's about, or do you want to be surprised? I'm going to let you be surprised.
I want to be surprised, and then I'll come back on the next to talk about
it. Yeah, dude. It's one of the best things you'll ever see.
Another thing to mention, it's interesting to think about, is they did a lot of close-ups on a lot of women in this documentary. And we're talking about a lot of women who are probably in their late teens, early 20s during this. Now they're in their 40s, probably early 50s with kids, probably. I'm wondering if there's anybody who is seeing their moms or anything like that in this right now.
So like that footage,
it's one of the top documentaries on Netflix right now. Like, it's being promoted hard.
Yeah, that's actually interesting to think about, because that footage would have come from the live concert footage, and there's no way that they made 500,000 people sign a release.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy to think about. I don't know. Yeah. If it were me, and it actually goes back to this Heavy Metal Parking Lot that I'm telling you to watch. So you have to watch the documentary and then watch the outtakes. It's very important that you watch the bonus footage. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure I'll pop up in a documentary somewhere eventually. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, dude. Should you be ashamed that you were topless when you were 19 at a music festival? No. Is it a little bit embarrassing? Sure. But I mean, fuck. If you can't spin that, like if you're such a insecure, just sort of like person in their 40s with all of these regrets and doubts, that you can't spin that in a way, it's like, I was young, I was living it up, it was the best time of my life. Like, maybe you shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Put yourself in those shoes. Like, there were a lot of naked dudes walking around too. So if you were one of those dudes and you just popped up on this documentary, would you be worried about it right now?
I'd have a lot of explaining to do to my coworkers and family, but those guys, mushrooms. What can I say? Ecstasy. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, man, you know, fuck. I mean, a lot of those people are probably fucking doctors now. For fuck's sake, like fucking
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
attorneys
I
and
guess, I guess it's no different than like the Girls Gone Wild stuff and all that, except for if you're watching Girls Gone Wild, you're purposely looking at it for the reason of trying to see boobs versus now
well,
you're
didn't that guy get sued because he didn't get permission to get any of those people on film?
yeah, I would have to look into it, but I know what you're talking about. There was a big that was a major issue.
Joe Francis is the guy's name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That reminds me. Did you watch the documentary, The Most Hated Man on the Internet?
No, I've seen it, but I haven't watched it yet.
You've seen it, but you've
I've,
seen what
I,
it
I've,
is.
yeah, I've seen the.
Should we let that be your homework and save that for the next show?
Is it that
Probably
good?
should.
Is it that good?
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. You need to
Okay.
watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll say before we go, I did watch another movie. Like I said, I went on a bender. The movie
Sounds
I'm
like
Not
it.
Okay. Have you seen anything about that?
No.
So it's about a girl who is trying to be an influencer and writer, and she lies about being in Paris during a terrorist attack.
Okay.
You seen anything about this?
No.
Maybe watch it. I was so uncomfortable for so many moments of that movie. Like it's so incredibly cringe, but it just goes to show where we are right now with like influencers and social media and like people just being like, what did I said? So like I stole this from someone. Well, I'll give the credit to my friend's wife, but she said, you know, Instagram is where celebrities go to be normal people.
Right.
TikTok is where normal people go to be celebrities.
Right.
Like this movie embodies that entire idea of like growing followers and getting clicks and fucking being surrounded by the people who have the most followers and like, oh, it's so gross. But the way that it ends is really important. So maybe watch that too. Maybe not before the next show, but there's so many moments I'm like, oh, like, ugh.
That makes
Like
me
you just
think,
want to go, ugh, I gotta like.
do you remember that whole thing with Steve Ranazizi? Is that how you say his
Oh, I
last
remember
name?
it.
He's
I
a
remember it
comedian?
well. Yeah.
Wasn't he said he was in one of the towers, right?
He lied on the Mark Maron podcast. This is when he first said it. Said
Yeah.
it in 2009 when he was on the Mark Maron podcast. And this was when his career was really starting to take off because
He
the
was
league
on
was
the
becoming
league. Yeah,
popular.
that's
And
right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, which I love the league. I hate fantasy football, but I love that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like he fucking like you have to be really sick in the head to like tell the story the way that he did, but he made up specifics about the company that he worked for and the job that he had. And but yeah, he said he was in one of the towers. The first plane hit. He got out of there. And then when he was on the ground, the second plane hit and he tried to like call up to the offices where he supposedly worked and no one would answer the phone. Like, yeah, dude, no shit. No one answered the phone. A plane just flew into the building.
Right. Yeah.
And the whole time, Mark Maron's not calling him on it because how can you really do that? You can't really be the one to go, you're full of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it'd be like you being like, yeah, my dad served in Desert Storm. And I'm like, really? What fucking platoon? What battalion? Like, what, like, no, you don't ask questions. You just go, oh shit, really? Like, and obviously in this situation, Mark Maron's like, holy shit, what the fuck? You know?
Mhm.
And then like voluntarily Ranazizi, like several years later, just but like someone brought it up again. He's like, yeah, I don't know why I ever said that. That didn't really happen. Jesus Christ, bro. Like, why would you lie? Like, that's an elaborate lie.
And did that help your career at all? Like to tell that story?
I don't think
You
it did. I
it
don't think it really helped at all. Like, that's the bizarre thing about it.
Yeah.
Like, he went on Howard Stern after it came out that he lied.
Uh-huh.
I think the question came up, like, do you really feel like you can attribute that story and that lie to any of the success you've had at all? And he's like, honestly, like, he's like, in my own head, I want to believe that, but people would probably say no. You know, like, I didn't get like maybe it did, but like not that many people heard it. Like the Mark Maron podcast is big,
Right.
and he was one of the originators back in 2009. Not
Right.
many people were podcasting back in 2009. Not on the level of like a Mark Maron, but not that many people heard the story. So like, what could it really have done?
And as easy as it is to do research on people now, like if he were to go on a show now and tell that same story, he would probably be outed before he was even off the podcast.
Well, the interesting thing to think about is he chose a really good show or a really good medium to do it on, such as a podcast. I feel like if he had gone on like what if he was on like Conan, for instance,
Yeah.
and told that story? The people at Conan would have been like, wait. Because, they pre-screen people when they have them on. They ask them questions like, tell us some of your craziest stories. People would have been in Conan's ear like, he didn't tell us that. Please ask questions. Please, or if he had gone on a radio show, like an actual terrestrial radio show where you have, the FCC to worry, the FCC to worry about, and like all these people who like answer to people, and like you got sponsors and all this shit. Like you tell a story like that, people are going to ask questions. They're going to be like, what?
Right.
You escaped one of the towers on 9/11? Like, so very, very bizarre. And you know what's strange? Like, I say I like the league, but I've watched that guy on a couple of other things, like interview wise and just kind of like hanging out, like podcast wise. He actually seems like a decent dude, like just like a cool dude, like you'd want to have a beer with.
Yeah. I mean, I can
Very
understand.
weird.
I can understand in the moment, like on the Mark Maron show or whatever, I can understand in the moment saying something and immediately realizing that's not going to help me. I don't know why I did that, but
Right.
to have all the information to back it up shows that he had a plan to do this. He had a plan to talk about this for some reason, whether he thought it was funny
In 2009,
somehow,
though, like that many years later,
I don't know, man.
like it just seems very like maybe he felt like, I've thought about this many times since it happened. Like I didn't hear the podcast, but since the news came out, then I saw the reactions to it. And I've thought about it many times. It's like, all right, so Mark Maron's being like, well, how did you get your start? What were you doing before stand-up comedy really started for you? And he's got to make up this story about how he worked for a financial firm and, he's working in New York. And then it turns into, oh yeah, my career got started right around 2001. So now I got to be like, I don't know. It just felt like he was like connecting the dots as he was talking and kept fucking up. And instead of erasing the fuck up, he just kept going. Like, I don't know. I'm making excuses for the guy, but
I just hope that it's not like I can get sympathy fans out of this kind of situation, because if that's the case and you played it off of a terrible situation like that, that kind of makes you a piece of crap.
I mean, if he did it for that, then that's gross. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's disgusting. But man, have you ever known someone to do that? Like use a tragedy or someone else's misfortune to kind of like get attention on them?
I don't know if I know anybody personally.
No?
Top of my head, at least. Do you?
Yeah, I know a few people.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't do anything about it. I didn't call him on it. I didn't say anything about it. Other people did. And I think for a moment there too, like with one specifically I can think of, I remember thinking like, am I a bad person for not calling this sooner than someone else did? Because I knew like right away, I was like, you weren't there. Like it's like one of those things like, but again, do you like the person's explaining a tragedy? Are you the asshole to be like, that's not true? You weren't there. Like that makes you an asshole too. I just remember thinking that way. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm just going to let it go. Just pretended I didn't hear it. That type of thing. Like,
It's almost better to stay out of it to where your name can't get dragged through the mud with it too, because all you're gonna do is piss them off.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's really weird that I know two people that have done that. Two, I want to say. Yeah, two. And one of them had to do with someone's suicide, which made it so much worse.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. They they basically lied about having communicated with the person like right before they took their own life, which was a total fucking lie. And I think most people knew that, but again, you don't want to be the person to be like, you want to mourn the person's death, and you don't want to be like, you didn't talk to that person. Like, what are you talking about?
So can I ask, like, you say communicated, like they were basically acting like they were the last person that person talked to before they did it?
No, they didn't claim that because that would have been really gross.
Yeah.
They just claimed to have spoken to them.
Okay.
Which didn't happen.
Okay.
Didn't happen. Which is gross also. I mean, it's all gross, but you can't be the person to be like, that didn't happen. Like in the moment, like you learn that someone has taken their own life, you don't call anyone a liar. You don't say anything negative. Right. It's like a very much like, oh shit, all right, this is crazy. That type of thing,
Right.
Yeah, man.
But you also sit there and think, what is this doing for you? Like you
just
saying
a story,
this,
it gets you attention.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't understand it. I don't understand how people's brain works sometimes.
Well, some people are sociopaths.
Well, there's that.
This person is, trust me. A lot of the stuff that has happened to this person and a lot of stuff they've done since then will vindicate that. But I mean, people look for attention in all kinds of ways, man. It's very fucking nuts, like, to think about.
Makes you think on why they need it. Like, is this something deep rooted from like your childhood where you didn't get much attention and now you need like dramatic situations that you can place yourself in to make yourself feel better somehow?
I mean, yeah.
There's that kind of stuff, part of it. Yeah.
That's definitely part of it. I think I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with just in the moment. Like in the moment, you're seeking instant gratification from something.
Right.
So like you tell a quick story that may or may not be true. People react to it, and they react in a sort of positive way, in a way to make you like, oh shit, you feel good about yourself. But it's a very short high,
I guess that makes sense. You're not necessarily trying to downplay what happened. You're just trying to make it about you for this moment, for the gratification of this story is about me now.
With some people, I think some people are just total scum of the earth.
Well, there's that.
Completely about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but well, dude, you have homework.
All right. So heavy metal parking lot.
Heavy metal parking lot. What else did I tell you?
The most hated man on the internet.
The most hated man on the internet. Holy shit, it's good.
And then I'm not okay. So is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can do some of that. Hopefully.
Do some of it. Do heavy metal parking lot for sure, and do the most hated man on the internet. If you get time, if you don't get time, not okay. Fine, whatever. It's fine.
Okay.
Before we go, dear Deshaun Watson, please play poorly on Friday. Do you want to know why I'm asking him to do that?
Yes, I do.
Because if he plays well, it's just going to create a bigger shitstorm around the suspension. If he plays poorly, people will go, you know what? Fine. He's not going to be our quarterback anyway for 6 games. Let's go let him get his head straight. Dear Cleveland Browns, please go trade for Jimmy G. You don't know how much we need him because we're one bad hit away on Brissett.
Yeah.
Josh motherfucking Rosen being our starter. That's all.
I have one question on that. as far as Deshaun Watson suspension goes, does it only count for regular season?
Yep.
Really?
Which is so nuts. It's so
That
nuts.
makes no sense
It's so
whatsoever.
nuts. Well,
So
why
he
else
ma-
would you explain
he
the
made
fact that he's starting tomorrow, Friday?
that's my point. Is like, okay, he right now has a 6-game suspension. They're trying to get it to at least be a full year,
Right?
but he can possibly play 3 games
Yeah.
leading up to it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It makes no sense.
But it's gonna really suck for Cleveland if he comes out and plays like dominant for those 3 games.
Preseason, it doesn't matter.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Look really bad, and then everyone will just go, okay, 6 games is enough. We feel bad enough for the Browns, who we always feel bad for anyway.
I don't know if that's how that's gonna work. I think most people are gonna be like, Cleveland, you guys really fucked up. Do you understand how bad he is?
He's not going to be bad.
How much money you gave him?
He's not going to be bad. I mean, Jakeem Grant did just tear his Achilles. That sucks, but it'll be fine. Dude, people keep forgetting about all of the weapons that whoever plays quarterback for the Browns is going to have. You have the best running back tandem in football. I know Kareem Hunt just asked for a trade. I know the Browns denied it. But then Nick Chubb went public and he was like, this is my best friend on the team. Basically said, Kareem, please play. Please stay and play. Meaning don't have an attitude about it. Just write it out. Just write it out, please. Write it out with me. That whole thing, which I love. Nick Chubb is the fucking best.
But it makes you wonder how the team's going to look at him now.
It'll be fine. Dude, it's the NFL. It happens all the time. Happens all the time. So many weapons, and I don't even want to continue naming them. I want to bring up one more thing. Do you see the Little League baseball game where the kid got hit in the head? And then
I did. Yeah.
What are we doing?
The other one went to console him.
Yeah, he went to console the little crybaby on the mound. What are we doing? If that's your kid, the kid who got hit, are you up in the stands screaming at him to stay on first base? Because I am.
I don't know, man. It's
just a testament to how old I'm getting.
It's a heartwarming story, I guess.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, because these are the same kids who fucking dance when they get a fucking single. Like, fuck you. It's the first inning. You got a single. Calm down.
So if your kid does that, you're gonna be mad?
I'll be pissed. No. My kid plays baseball. There will be no celebratory moments on the infield when you get a base hit or a double or a triple. Or when you get a home run, there's not going to be a bat flip. Did you win the Little League World Series in the bottom of the fucking 6th? Then you can bat flip. That's fine.
You do sound old right now.
No, dude. I sound logical. Come on, man. Everything needs a celebration now. These kids are like, got their own celebration. Like, what are you doing?
I'll give you that.
Come on.
I'm not into that.
When I was 12, and we'll end on this story if you want, but when I was 12, same age as these kids, I was on a team who we were a good team, but we were a bunch of misfits, meaning like none of us had played together prior to the team. So it was a collection of players put together trying to win this specific league we were in, and it didn't work out. So there was not a lot of like camaraderie on the team. It was just like kind of like every kid for himself. Like, I got to get hits, I got to get strikeouts, and so it was miserable for me because I came in like last minute to the team, and I was just like, oh God, I hate kids like this. Like, I just want to play, and like, I want to win the league. I don't just want to do well for myself, that type of thing. Because when I was 12, I was like, let's be honest, dude. You might play in high school, but you're not going to be a professional baseball player. Like at 12, it became a reality. Like, it's probably not going to happen. Now, I worked hard after 12 to like get better, but whatever. So like, but at 12, I was good and I could compete with the other 12-year-olds, Wasn't the best, but I was good. So like, we're playing this team. We'll call them a inner city team, if you will. Really good team.
Okay.
My pitcher hits a guy in the helmet, Kid fucking hits him like the wedge of the helmet in the temple. Kid has to leave. Fucking ambulance comes, right? Now, cooler heads have prevailed for this incident. Now, everybody's pissed off. Everybody's on edge. Innings over. We go out. Next inning, we score 3 runs. We're leading now. So you can feel the tension getting, it's building. The other parents on that team, they're fucking pissed. They're fucking screaming. Everybody's getting louder. Everybody's getting a little more rambunctious. Next inning, same pitcher who hit the kid in the head stays in the game. I'm just thinking, like, why are we not taking that kid out of the game? Let's take him out of the game. I think his time's done. I think it's safe to say we can take him out. Coach leaves him in. Oh, by the way, coach's son. Coach leaves him in. First batter of the following inning. Hits the kid in the leg. Just drills him. Just right in the back of the thigh. Now, best place to get hit if you're playing baseball, the back of the thigh.
For sure.
This kid goes berserk. Charges the mound with the bat in his hand.
Yeah.
My coaches go to cut him off. One of my coaches gets tackled by his coach, one of his coaches. Parents are running on the field. Fucking police come. Like, there was no hugs. There was no. And do you think after this was all broken up, people were like, oh, we're really sorry? Fuck no. We were screaming at them as they were leaving, and as we were leaving, they were screaming at us. Like, that's how I grew up playing baseball. There were no hugs. Like, if that kid would have hit me, I would have been on first, like, staring at him. I would have been fucking me mugging him. I would have been calling him a fucking little bitch ass motherfucker. Like, fucking, like, what are we doing? Hugging him? I don't know. Whatever, dude.
I will say one thing, like one of the most gross things is parents who parents who are standing there just yelling at refs or yelling at the other team or anything like that from the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, I hate parents that yell at refs. Like, that was annoying. My dad yelled at me. I probably shouldn't.
Well, there's a difference there.
There is a huge difference. He didn't yell at refs. He didn't yell at umps. He yelled at me.
Yeah.
But he also was my coach for many, many years in baseball and in soccer. But yeah, I mean, he didn't. But then when he was not my coach, like, he never coached me in basketball, and when he was not my coach, it was still me. He, all of his attention was on me.
Yeah.
There were parents who were legitimately like, every call, oh, boo, what are you doing? I'm like, no, it was clearly a fucking travel. Like, why are you stop? Like, you'd have to be like, calm down. You're gonna lose us the game.
Yeah, one thing about that too, like, you were talking about the kids who are celebrating off of everything that they do.
Oh, I fucking hate it, dude.
Man, me growing up, I think pretty much all the coaches that I had, I don't care if you're a starter or not, if you're celebrating off of anything like that, you're sitting.
Yeah.
You're on the bench at that point.
You say I'm old. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. No, yeah, dude. So this is for real. My basketball team, when I was in the sixth grade, seventh grade, one of those ages, but we played Catholic Youth Council basketball, which is kind of like a big deal in St. Louis, for basketball and for soccer. The other sports, not so much. But yeah, we won our league, right? And then after we won our league, you go to the city tournament. You play other schools from all around the city. So our first city game, my sixth or seventh grade, I can't remember which one it was, but we were destroying this team. We had this really big kid on our team. We were a team full of white kids. We had one black guy, and he was essentially one of the best players in the city. Was just clowning on these fucking kids. Like, we were just destroying these kids. So in the fourth quarter, he gets a block or something, and we all jump off the bench. And, the guys on the court at the time were like, overly, it was like too much. He benched all those guys to start the next game.
Oh shit.
Benched them. Now, that year I was like, started sometimes, didn't start. That game I started, but luckily I was on the bench when that happened. So I started the next game. I was surrounded by our fucking B squad, our fucking JV squad, our fucking scrubs. Dude, we got ran off the court. Now we only played for like that group of kids only played for like a minute, 2 minutes,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah.
But it was enough to put a huge dent in the game where like we fucking lost the game. Was that a statement to make with a bunch of sixth graders? I don't know, but it fucking, I don't know if anybody learned anything from that, but I
In the
still remember
in
it.
the moment,
I remember it vividly.
in the moment, everybody was probably just pissed, but I don't know, maybe down the road it affected some of the kids.
You know what? I think my mom might have that game on video, actually. I'm going to ask her for it. I'm going to rewatch it. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows? That
So
kid.
we got to post it on our YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I hit a couple of threes. That kid, the kid I'm talking about with the block, he got kicked out of. So he actually like got recruited to play at a major private school here in the area, and he got kicked out like 2 weeks into his freshman year. And I don't know what's happened to the guy since.
What did he get kicked out for?
Criminal shit, but I think he got set up by, ironically enough, he got set up by another kid who played in that league that we played in, who
Jesus.
also, it's a long story. We can talk about that off the show. I'll tell you all about it. One of the guys is dead. Let's just say that.
Jesus. And you really brought the show down to end it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mar-a-Lago, there.
Oh, geez.
Let's get out of here.
All right.
Let's go back and get some action.